Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen, and this week we are doing a live commentary of Dracula, Prince of Darkness from Hammer Films from 1966. And this is the third film in the Hammer Dracula series. And a lot of people put this very high on their list when it comes to the ranking of the franchise. Um, Most people, I'd say, consider this to be probably the second best film in the series. Some even consider it the best in the series. Um, there's two major things that keep it from the top for me, and one of them being the fact that Christopher Lee doesn't have any lines in the film. So for me, that's kind of a big negative because Christopher Lee has such a commanding, deep, intense voice. It's like, oh, I want to hear him talk. I mean, that's fine for like when he played the Frankenstein's monster or the Mummy. Where they're just kind of like shambling monsters. Dracula, I think he'd feel like it's important that he talks at some point, but he never does. And a lot has been said about that. Like Christopher Lee claimed that he didn't want to say any of the lines because it was so badly written. The dialogue was terrible, so he didn't want to say any of them. Um, but the production, the people that made the film say otherwise. They say that they didn't write any lines for him, but it's he said, she said kind of thing, I guess. But yeah, at any rate, it is a very well made film for sure, and it's directed by Terence Fisher, who is probably the best director for Hammer films. He's made so many classics in the Hammer film genre. Um, And this is no exception. It's a beautifully directed film. It looks great. The cast is great. You got Barbara Shelley is fantastic. You got Andrew Keir is great. He makes a great rival to Dracula. This holy figure, this priest, and yeah, solid cast, solid acting. Um, Now, one of the other detractors of the film for me is the ending. I think for me personally, it's the worst ending, the worst death of Dracula. As you know from watching the series, Dracula dies every time in each movie. Um, but I feel like this was the weakest death of Dracula. But at the same time, it's also the best resurrection of Dracula in the series, so that's a big plus. This is really cool the way they bring him back in the film. I love it. So, and special guest joining me today is none other than the Prince of Darkness himself. Dracula is played brilliantly by the great Christopher Lee in the Hammer Dracula series. And he did a couple that weren't Hammer too, like the Jess Franco version of Dracula. But yeah, I love this figure from NECA. If you guys have not seen my review of this great figure from NECA, the Horror of Dracula version of uh, Christopher Lee as Dracula. It's a wonderful figure. It looks fantastic. I mean, go check that video out if you haven't seen it already. Yeah, I thought it'd been quite a while since I've done a solo stream, hasn't it? And I find that a lot of my solo streams do pretty well, especially when I do the live commentary on especially the Hammer films in particular. So I figured why not? I haven't done this one yet. Uh, So after this one, I have one more left that I have not done a live stream commentary, and that is the Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. So I definitely plan to do that at some point as well. But Hey, what's up, Mr. Movie Massacre in the house on the way to work. That Dracula figure is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, hell yeah. I love it, man. Let me look at this guy, man. He's a badass. It looks, and it's an excellent likeness of Christopher Lee, I think. You know, yeah, he looks awesome. So coming in the mail next month, April, I'm getting the Peter Cushing Van Helsing from NECA. I cannot wait for that. So definitely expect a video for that, an unboxing and a review of that figure. I cannot wait um, because Peter Cushing is the man. And he is noticeably absent from this film, unfortunately. I guess that's another negative, but they do show him at the beginning because they do show the end of Horror of Dracula at the beginning of the film, which is nice, you know. And it sets this film up pretty well, and the film does have some nice continuity, which a lot some of the other Dracula films from Hammer do not have very much continuity. But this one definitely does. I guess we shall get into it, huh? Everyone, get ready to grab your trusty controller for your DVD player or Blu-ray player, or whether you're watching it on streaming services or whatever. And I am watching the U.S. version of. I don't really know what the difference is between the U.S. version and the. But yeah, the Blu-ray from Scream Factory has the UK version and the US version. I haven't watched the UK version. I don't know really what the difference is. Well, I have to do that sometime. But I also think Scream Factory did a really good job on the Blu-ray releases. This one is no exception. Now, of course, you have Hammer themselves are beginning to release some 4Ks, and holy crap, they did one of Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter, and it's like unbelievable. This huge epic release with all kinds of special features, like unbelievable. There's like 7 discs in there or something. Movie Masker says, I bought Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. I bought it after I heard you talk about it. Sounds like a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun for sure. Yeah. That's the reason to watch it, because it's fun, not because it's the best film in the series by any means, but just mixing, the kung fu genre with the vampire genre and the Hammer style and Peter Cushing. It is a lot of fun. It's much better than it has any right to be. It's definitely a guilty pleasure for me. All right, so let's get into it, huh? I'm about to hit play on the Blu-ray, the Scream Factory edition of Dracula, Prince of Darkness from 1966. And here we go. That old 20th Century Fox logo. Let me start off showing the, Dracula's castle up in the hills there. Seven Arts Hammer Film Production. And here they're doing the recap of Horror of Dracula, and the final act where Peter Cushing as Van Helsing is chasing Dracula up and down the stairs, all over the place, all through the castle, which is amazing, amazing scene. Dracula throws the candlestick at him, trying to choke him out. He's just about to bite him. And just as Helsing looks like he's losing consciousness, and he's about to get bit. And we have the narration from, I believe it's from Andrew Keir as Father Sandor, talking about bring about the final and absolute destruction. That classic scene where Peter Cushing jumps and pulls the curtains down, releasing the sunlight, and Dracula trying to get away, and jumps on the table, grabs the two candlesticks together, making the cross. Turns to ashes, to dust. Thousands have been enslaved by the obscene cult of vampirism. Now the fountainhead himself perished. Only the memory remain. The memory of the most evil and terrible creature who ever set his seal on civilization. Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Have a good one, Movie Massacre. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to have you again soon on the Horror Hangouts. You were a great guest. It was great to have you back after a long time. It was good to see your face, too. Music composed by James Bernard. Yeah, they used kind of pretty much the classic score from The Horror of Dracula. So that was great to see that original score return in the sequel here. Now, in the second film, Brides of Dracula was a kind of a departure. That was more of a Van Helsing story where, Dracula isn't even in it. It's just Van Helsing taking on a new threat, a new vampire, and, his brides. And here we see there's some kind of funeral going on. The local townsfolk are dragging a young woman's body through the woods here. About to have a ceremony, but looks like the woman's mother is coming. Been a while since I've watched this one. As I said, it's not really my favorite in the series for a couple different reasons, but it is a very good film. No question about it. It's very well done. It's very well made. Very well acted. And there is some great scenes in here that are memorable. And despite not having any lines, Christopher Lee once again is fantastic. But when is Christopher Lee not fantastic? But he shows that he can be intimidating and just as intense and commanding without even having any lines. I believe they're about to burn the body because they know that she got bit, and she's about to become a vampire. So they want to remove the threat before it happens. And then mother's freaking out. How could you do that? It's insane. What's wrong with you people? Oh, actually, he's about to drive the stake through her heart. As I said, it's been a while since I watched this one, but yeah, they're about to drive the stake through her heart, but Father Sandor shows up to stop the ceremony armed with a shotgun, played by Andrew Keir, a great actor. He's done a few Hammer films. Probably my favorite would be Hands of the Ripper was an excellent movie from Hammer. He starred in that film. But he makes a great nemesis to Dracula since, you don't have Van Helsing in this one. So I feel like he is kind of the next best thing. And he's trying to reason with them, like, what are you doing? This is unholy. This is madness. The woman died. Allow her to have a proper burial. He doesn't understand the whole vampire thing. I'll complain to the bishop. You're performing an act of blasphemy. We have to be sure. You are an idiot, father. A superstitious, frightened idiot. He's an intense dude. He's very intimidating. And now we're at the local pub with this group that looks like they're kind of just visiting in town. They're new in town. And they always see Barbara Shelley as Helen, their husband, and his brother, and his brother's wife, I think. And I think Barbara Shelley almost steals this movie. She's probably my favorite thing about this movie. She does an excellent job. Um, she's kind of plays kind of the classic, damsel in distress, and she's trying to warn them. This is crazy going up to Dracula's castle. We must be out of your mind. And she's scared and terrified. She doesn't want to go there. And then it ends up turning a whole different direction, as we'll see later on. Foolishness is foolishness. Rest in peace, Barbara Shelley. She passed away a couple of years ago. I think she's like one of the queens of Hammer. She's done several Hammer movies, quite a few actually. Also in The Gorgon with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. There is no boogeyman anymore. He just thinks Dracula's dead and gone. Get on with it. Get over it, people. Dracula's dead. Enough is enough. This part's kind of funny. Like, he's warming his ass by the fire. Ah, it's better. He's this guy's ass hanging out. One of the few pleasures left in life. As always, the beautiful costume design of Hammer, the color scheme. It's amazing. Nobody does it like Hammer. The gothic tone. And then the Carpathian Mountains. That's where Dracula's castle lies. He hunts deer, huh? Killing God's creatures? What kind of priest is that? Just so he can eat. Yo, horror and metal in the house. What up, Hellhound? How's it going, buddy? Huge fan of Hammer in the chat today. Where does Dracula Prince of Darkness rank in your Hammer Dracula ranking, Mr. Hellhound? Barbara Shelley looks gorgeous in this movie. Probably my third favorite after Horror and Bride. Yeah, so right in succession, huh? I tell you not to go to Carlsbad. So obviously he has some superstition because he's wanting them not to go to Carlsbad, you know? Before he's like, "Oh, Dracula's dead. Get over it, people." Now he's like, "Don't go there," you know. So obviously he's got some kind of hang up about it. Stay away from there. I was just talking about that before. Yeah, that's one of my big negatives. Yeah, that keeps it from being on the top. You know, that along with the ending really hurts it for me. You know, like when you got a guy with such a great, powerful voice like Christopher Lee, and he doesn't have any lines. It's like, oh. But as I say, he still does a great job. Still intimidating. Still a commanding presence without any lines, even. But that's just because Christopher Lee's a great actor, you know. And there's a classic Dracula trope of trying to get up to the castle. They try and get a ride, but the guy will only take him halfway. This time the guy actually punches him in the mouth. No, I'm not taking you up there. And he even takes a knife out and tosses their luggage. Like, go get it up there yourself, chump. After all that, he still says, "I'll be here after dawn to pick you up." You just pulled a knife on the people. You punched them in the mouth, but you're still gonna come back to pick them up. You tossed their luggage everywhere, all over the dirt. You're still gonna pick them up, though. What a guy! Why did he say be back after dawn tomorrow? We're not in England now, Helen. Why wouldn't he look at that place? Why does everybody else deny the existence of the place? Because they've all been scarred by his unholiness. His evil reverberates throughout the village. But they're all scared to death. They won't talk about it. That's why. Because the events of what happened in Horror of Dracula and for years before that, 100 years before that, probably, or however long he's been alive. And the horse and carriage just shows up out of nowhere with no driver, nothing. Perfect timing, huh? That whole thing's strange. They don't want to stay in this little shack. They want to go up to the big, glorious castle. But they don't know it's Dracula's castle. Or just some people have taken that classic wrong turn in a horror movie. Going where they're not supposed to be. And it backfires on them. They stumble into the hands of pure evil. I can't even do my Christopher Lee voice because he doesn't talk in the movie. He just goes. Whoa! He's trying to direct the horses, but they're only going one place, and that's up to the castle, whether you like it or not. That's where you're going. And that does look like the same set from Horror of Dracula of the castle, yeah. I wonder if it is the same set that they used for Horror of Dracula there, of the castle. I'll have to look into that. These naive fools have no idea what they're in for. They look like these rich aristocrats, all decked out in expensive clothes, and they look like they're pretty well to do. Open the damn door. Well, it's supposed to be trespassing, wasn't it? Just walk into someone's house. I don't think we should go in. See what I mean? If you had listened to Barbara Shelley, you wouldn't be in this situation, would you? They locked the door, now you can't leave. Hmm. Even she said, if you listen to me, you wouldn't be in this situation. Listen to the woman, just like Ripley and Alien, right? If you would listen to me. But they set a nice table for them, it's almost like they're expecting guests or something. We're expected. I don't know, but we are. I don't know about that. It's like pretty soon, four perfectly normal people are going to come down and invite us to dinner. No, not exactly. But there will be someone. Charles, you mustn't go upstairs. Charles. Look at this beautiful set design. Yeah, I think this is the same set. Yeah. The architecture, I love the beautiful Gothic mansion. You just waltz upstairs, like just walking through someone's house, a complete stranger. Any normal person would be like, all right, peace out, I'm leaving. Nobody's here. We go like looking through all the doors or going through all the rooms, That's asking for trouble, I think. Who the hell are you to walk into someone's bedroom, for Christ's sake? There's even clothes set up for them. Someone took up their luggage. Someone took their luggage up to the rooms. How about that? We've been expecting you. Charles, don't go. That great score by James Bernard. I love it. Fantastic. That color scheme. This is the thing when you watch the Hammer movie. It's like you're looking at a painting or something. It's so beautiful. The colors and the like. Look at that. The candles in the background. All the furniture. The man. Their costumes. The who's that? Just some dude coming from the shadows, and she's like freaking out. Helen's losing it. It's Clove. Clove. Dracula's humble and faithful servant. Sorry if I startled you, it was unintentional. Why didn't you make your presence known? Why are you walking through my house, motherfucker? But he's perfectly cordial, perfectly charming, perfectly hospitable. A little creepy, but if you are ready, I will serve dinner now. Well, sure, why not? Thank you, sir. Sounds like a splendid idea. But you can't. 10 minutes ago, we were stranded in the cold. She's just having a blast, the other girl. It's like, we might be entertained as well. Yeah, you might be. Not in the way you want. No. That is quite a setup, though. Some wine with some soup. Clove, sir. Now, Clove does appear again in Scars of Dracula. Explain, sir. Well, sir, my master is dead, but instructions were left that the castle should always be ready to receive guests. Oh, now we got strange monkey reviews in the house. What's going on, man? Morning, I'm trapped at work, just dropping in to say hello. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, man. I am doing well. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Guys, check out Strange Monkey Reviews channel. Great guy, huge knowledge of the genre. Also check out Hellhound from the Horror and Metal channel, as well as Movie Massacre. Thank you guys for joining me today in the chat. We're having a blast with my buddy Christopher Lee as Dracula, Count Dracula. I'm still frightened. Hammer fans, my favorite magazine I get like just about every month is The Dark Side, and on the cover, this month is Lust for a Vampire, Utis Stensgaard. I love the artwork on that. So if you're a Hammer fan, you need to get The Dark Side, and you need to read The Dark Side like every month because there's always Hammer stuff in there. No horror magazine focuses more on like Hammer than The Dark Side, I think, and it touches all horror, the entire genre, all the latest movies coming out, but they always manage to put Hammer in there somewhere. Drinking the wine, would you trust that wine? I don't know. Hmm. Even schoolgirls have their moments. His wife is quite the looker. And she don't seem scared at all, his wife, Charles's wife. She's just having a grand old time while Helen is just like terrified. But she's the only one with any sense in the house. Crow frightened the life out of her. I suppose he's a bit like the castle, he's sort of dusty. Anything further you, madam, request? I wish you a good night. We're coming up upon probably as I said, the best resurrection of Dracula in the franchise. It seems badass. I love it. We'll be getting to that shortly. Again, Helen trying to talk sense into these people, her husband. This whole situation is like a bad dream. Expect any moment to wake up and find it didn't happen. Oh, Helen. Tisk, tisk, Helen. You're such a drama queen, Helen. Oh, Alan, let's go, please. This is ridiculous. These foolish men, they don't listen to their wives. I've learned that being married for many years. Listen to your wife. She knows what she's talking about. I'm a fool. The wife knows best. She always, anytime I try and think otherwise, I always get kicked in the ass for it. Women know what they're talking about. Creepy castle in the hills. Again, that's that great score building the mood and the atmosphere and the tension. It's fantastic. The score is absolutely one of the best things about this movie. It's brilliant. One of my all-time favorite scores is that Horror of Dracula original score. A kind of bombastic sound. Dun, 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 dun. So intense. Helen be sweating. She's having nightmares. I didn't call you tripping, girl. Somebody called my name. There is some weird noises going on out there. Perhaps I should go check. Never a good idea in a horror movie. You hear a strange noise, ignore it. Don't go check it. Don't go creeping around the house looking for something. Never ends well. Cloves creeping around, carrying some kind of big casket or some kind of chest there. Well, what's he doing? He's pulling a trunk down the corridor. Alan, don't leave me. Don't leave me, Alan. Please. Lock the door. Well, that'll help her, but it's not going to help you too much. Yes, go check on the strange noises. Go check. Go investigate. See what happens. You fool! Because it's raining and thundering outside. Wouldn't be a horror movie without that. It certainly wouldn't be a Hammer movie or a gothic horror without your rain and thunder and lightning. And he sees this big, huge coffin. With the cape with the red inseam. Yeah. Lots of candles in this house, man. Lots and lots of candles. Somebody could easily, the big Dracula crest on the coffin, the tomb of Dracula. That looks like from the original prop from Horror of Dracula 2, I think. Look at that. Even the bed, it looks like the Queen of England's bed or something. Like, it'd be easy to for someone to just knock a candle over and burn the whole place down, wouldn't it? Like, because Candles everywhere. Like, oh shit, oops, sorry. Bonfire. Oh! Clove just stabbed the dude in the back. That's what you get. Creeping around. Night, fool. This film has some nice gore, and especially this scene. This scene is awesome. Like, Clove's dragging the dude's body. Looks like he's about to do something very bad. He's got evil intentions. And he's removing the blanket from the tomb of Dracula. And there, the looks like it's got some of his native soil in there. Setting up a noose, tying it around the dude's legs. Gonna string him up by his legs. He's rolling up the harness, lifting the noose, and hanging the guy by his feet. Right over the casket of Dracula. What, pray tell, is he planning? Whatever it is, it's not good. And he's already bleeding all over the place. I think you might have a good idea. You might have some idea what he's trying to do here. He's busting out this little box he has. Oh, yep. Yeah, there he goes. Pouring more of the native soil onto the casket. Well, that might be the dust of Dracula's remains, actually. Probably swept it up and put it as ashes in the. Oh, cut the dude's throat. He's bleeding profusely all over the ashes of Dracula. Oh shit! This is sick. It's pretty brutal, man. Like, dude's bleeding like a fish. And of course, we see the blood bubbling and smoking, and uh, we see the ashes starting to come together and forming the body. And slowly, the body is materializing and taking shape. The ashes are starting to form into flesh. This is sick. This is awesome. I love it. The effects here are really good too, like the slow reverse degeneration of the body. And we start seeing hair starting to form, starting to see his eyes come out. And there's just a cloud of smoke. Awesome, awesome. I love it. It's creepy, it's scary, it's gothic, it's awesome. This is the best, without a doubt, the best resurrection of Dracula in the series, or probably in any Dracula movie. And there you go. You see his hand come up with the ring. He's back. Now he's trying to get now he's trying to get Helen into. He's trying to trick her too. Come quickly. There's something wrong. I'll wait with the others. Go check on it. There's something wrong with your husband. Like, oh no. And she just found the bodies. And I'm hanging up. His throat cut. Blood drained from his body. And she's about to meet someone. And there he is in all his glory. Looking menacing as hell. Count Dracula. And she's got her completely hypnotized. She's drawing out the fangs. And you see that look, like, not even like a scared look, like almost like she's turned on. There's always like a sexual tension in these Hammer Dracula films. Like, oh, oh, go on get me, go on get me. Almost like a little smirk on her face, you know. Like, yeah, come on, bring it to me. Bite me, baby, bite me. Back in the coffin after a fresh kill. Got plenty of life in him now. Now Helen is a bride of Dracula. Darling, we can't leave without her. I'm frightened, Charles. We're looking for... You stay here, I'll go to the castle. Like, I certainly wouldn't just storm out of the house. I would look for her, you know? Like, that's his sister, man. Can't leave her behind. I guess he just wanted to get her out of there. Out of danger. But good luck with that, you know? And Charles is going back up to the castle. He's got a date with the Prince of Darkness, Count Dracula. By the great Christopher Lee, one of my all-time favorite actors. He's certainly in my, certainly in probably my top 5. I should do a list like that sometime. My top 10 favorite horror actors. I did my favorite horror performances, but I haven't done my favorite horror actors, I don't think. Hmm, good idea for a video, right? Christopher Lee certainly would be on that list, as well as Peter Cushing. Both of them are guaranteed to be on that list. The pillars of Hammer horror. Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Or a British horror in general, really. Oh, Clove found her anyway. I hope I haven't startled you, ma'am. What are you doing here? Your husband sent me to fetch you in the cottage. He will explain everything to you later. Yeah, right. But I don't understand. She thought she was gonna. She thought she was gonna be safe sitting in the a little shack down in the village there, in the middle of the woods. Not to be. About to be suckered into a trap set by Clove and the Prince of Darkness. And we see Charles looking all over the castle for his sister Helen. Little does he know she's already been the victim of Count Dracula. And she is now a vampire. Now he's about to stumble on the casket of Dracula. Why wouldn't he look in the tomb right there, you know? That doesn't look like suspicious to you. But he looks in the trunk with the dude's body in it. But he doesn't look into the coffin of Dracula. And he now wakes up. You've just woken the master of horror. Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah, you've walked into it now, haven't you? You stumbled into it, haven't you? You are in the shit. Now Clove's back. With Diana, played by Susan Farmer in the film. Diana is Charles' wife in the film. Lovely lady. Exquisitely dressed. Look at her, the way her hair's done and that. Yep. Clove just locked her in there. Now you screwed. Just locked her in there with the Count. Or someone else. Ah, you found her. You found Helen. But she looks she looks quite different, doesn't she? All of a sudden she looks all sexy and beautiful, the hair down and the sexy nighty. Like, who is this person? Where's Charles? But she's great here. I love it. There's something wrong, isn't there? Nothing's wrong. Come. We, we don't need Charles. Oh, you see your fangs. Haha, there he is. Dun, dun, dun. Grabs her by the arm. Let her go. Dear Charles, let me kiss you. Love it. This is great. This is a great scene. Dracula grabs him by the throat. How awesome is he? They say even without the dialogue, he's still awesome. He's still menacing as all hell. He's trying to grab a sword. He thinks he's gonna. Like, give me that. Get that out of here. The claw. He just grabs it. Oh, she burned her arm with the cross, and she got the cross indented into her skin. She's like, "Oh, what's this, huh?" Backspawn of Satan. She's like, ugh. Charles is learning too. Put the sword together with the busted clove in the mouth. Pretty slick. They managed to fend them off. Charles, let's leave. That's right. Helen is a full-fledged bride of Dracula now. She's like getting all up in his grill. He's just like, get out of here. He's not a very good husband, is he? They're all just minions to him, and none of them mean a damn thing. None of his servants or his brides are just there to serve him, and if you're not doing things exactly as he wants, you're done. Easily expendable to Dracula. All he gives a crap about is getting the kill, getting the blood, getting the victim. Most of the time, he'll just kill you. Once in a while, he might turn you into a vampire, but if you look good, if she thinks you might be of some use to him, otherwise they'll just throw you out like a piece of trash. And don't ever think Dracula is gonna give you credit for anything. Don't if you think you're gonna get like props from Dracula, and forget it. Like Dracula, look what I did. I did this for you. He doesn't give a shit. I warned you not to go anywhere near the castle. The father is pissed. I told you, moron. I read about vampires years ago. What if it were? Here in the Carpathian Mountains, vampirism was a fact, as was Dracula 10 years ago. Mhm. Yep, I must kill him. Not kill you. He's already dead. He is undead. He can be destroyed, but not killed. There are a number of ways, and Hammer has the most ways out of any. The old-fashioned stake through the heart routine, but there's much more than that. Like running water. This is the first time I ever heard that. I'm like, running water? What? What? Running water? Not even holy water. Just running water. That's it. It is not simple. On the contrary, extremely difficult and dangerous undertaking. Normal human beings are in his power. This clove, spending his life waiting for such an opportunity to prevent itself, a chance to resurrect the master. And that's what he's saying. Just normal humans follow him blindly, just like Clove. There's a strong influence on the weak-minded, much like some people in real life, like the followers of Charles Manson, for example. They were brainwashed into doing his bidding, no matter what. Just weak-minded people. Easily susceptible to influence. That's what he is. Dracula's like a cult leader, basically. He's it's a cult vampirism. Cult of vampirism. Like a blood cult. I have orders to let no one in tonight. Not sure why Clove is seeking shelter or whatever. Oh, I see. He's got the coffins with him in the carriage of Dracula and Helen, prepared to be unleashed throughout the village. And you gotta have the comic relief to it. This Thorley Walters character, like it's pretty random. Weirdo. Eating flies like freaking Renfield or whatever. I guess that's it's supposed to be like the Renfield type character. Ludwig. He's a harmless enough soul, but he's been known to erupt. He's got some fancy book there. Looks like hundreds of years old. He seems like the type that's gonna be easily influenced by Dracula. Do his bidding. Apparently, he works in the monastery with the priests. We'll pull that castle down stone by stone. We'll find him. Obviously, Dracula knows that's why the Clove's trying to get him out of there, get him away from the castle, because he knows that the father's going to be hunting him down. Because he is, after all, the Van Helsing of this film. Don't realize that a vampire, unless he cannot be invited in, cannot enter unless he's been invited. Yeah, that old adage. Have to be invited by the rightful owner. It's one of the classic tropes of vampirism. I love that. Hammer always sticks to those. They add their own, little twist on it too. Of course, like the running water gag. Even silver bullets in the Satanic Rites of Dracula, like silver bullets. He's not a werewolf, although he's been known to turn into a wolf as well. He's a shapeshifter. Think Dracula might be paying her a visit in the night. I won't be coming with you, not just yet. He's gonna leave her alone again. What do you think's gonna happen this time? No, Charles, you're not going back up there. Promise me you won't. We'll talk about it in the morning. I'm not leaving here without you. It's important that you rest. Father, tell him. Tell him it's madness to go back to that place. I think your husband is right, my dear. Father Santa is a pretty big, intimidating dude himself, just like Dracula. He makes a. That's why he makes a good nemesis. Strong-willed head of the church, against the ultimate evil that is Dracula, the ultimate unholy abomination that must be stopped at all costs. Classic good versus evil. It doesn't get any more straightforward than that. Uh, Ludwig hears the call of Dracula. Crawling out in the middle of the night. Looks like he's getting ready to head up to the castle to serve the master. I've seen this dude in a few Hammer films. He's in a couple of the Frankensteins. He's definitely in the Frankenstein created woman. Yeah. Someone's tapping on the window. This reminds me of that scene in Salem's Lot when little boy's like scratching on the glass and it's Helen. Help me, it's cold out here. Everything is all right now. I got away from him. Oh, please, Diana, let me in. Once you let them in, it's all over. I told you. A vampire can't enter the house without being invited. Nope, you just invite her in. Now she's biting her. Like, there he is. Oh, he must have got away awful quick. They didn't see him in the window, through the window. Hold out a hand. Helen bit her in the arm. Gonna burn it off. It's that simple in these movies. You just burn the bite off, and then you're good. As Peter Cushing demonstrated in Brides of Dracula, he got bit on the neck, and then he just like burns himself with the candle holder. Like, the boss bastard that he is. It's kind of funny though. That's all it takes. You just burn the flesh, and you're cured. You won't turn into a vampire. Pretty slick. They put the crosses in the coffins, so they can't go back in them. Be exposed to the sun because you can't return to the coffin. They caught the woman, but not Dracula. If you wish to see the destruction of the horror spawned by Dracula, but I warn you, is not a sight for the squeamish. They got her. They captured her. Just putting up quite the fuss. They're gonna take her out. They have destroyed my servant. They will be destroyed. All right, just a little taste, guys. That's of course from Taste the Blood of Dracula. I had to throw that in there. When we destroy it, we only destroy the evil, and she will rest in peace. TYTD Reviews, afternoon. What's up? That's funny. I was thinking recently, I was thinking of doing the horror of the a Dracula retrospective for the horror hangout, and I was going to ask you if you wanted to come on again. Since you did the Hammer Frankenstein retrospective there. Expert Hammer aficionado in the house, TYTD Reviews. And we are talking today about Dracula, Prince of Darkness. We are doing a little watch along here. If you're just joining us now, Dracula, Prince of Darkness. And if you're just joining us, we're at the scene where they just captured Helen, played by Barbara Shelley, and they just staked her through the heart. But now she can rest in peace. Her soul is free, free from the evil of Dracula. And she looks beautiful. Hey, I'd be 100% down for that, man. Always down to help spread the word on the horror hangout. Thank you, thank you. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I think it's gonna happen. I think we need to do it. Hammer Dracula retrospective on the horror hangout live stream. Yes, stay tuned. Stay tuned for the details. Love it. I love it. I did do a Hammer retrospective, but it wasn't part of the horror hangout. So I think we need to officially do it for the horror hangout live stream. Hammer Dracula retrospective. I want to do some of the other ones too. I'd like to do some of the Universal franchises, like the Universal Frankenstein as well. 'Cause since we did the Hammer Frankenstein, I like to do the Universal Frankenstein. I like to do the Universal Dracula series, as well. We'll get there at some point. The fool went back to the house. She had to go back, and now she's stuck in the room with Dracula. She's screwed. Ah. This is a great scene. He's like, stop. Oh yeah, they're crazy in the best way, of course. Well, this part he just like opens his chest and makes her makes her take off the cross. The cross. Get that thing out of my sight. If he spoke in this movie, that's what he would say. Come drink from the chest of Dracula. He cuts himself. Drink from the blood. Taste the blood of Dracula. Taste the blood of Dracula. I love it. She's more than happy to do so, but Charles is here to foil his plans, so he grabs her, picks her up, takes her off. Yes, Diana is now in the grasp of Dracula. Well, it's great to see some people joining me in the chat. Thanks everybody for joining me today in this impromptu stream. As I said, it's been quite a while since I've done one of these, and a lot of them have performed pretty well on my channel. So I figured I was due. I haven't had time to do it, but I just happen to have some time today, so we're having fun. As I said before, this isn't really one of my favorite in the series, but it certainly is a very well-made film. A lot of people do love it, and some people do consider it their favorite. But I definitely enjoy it. It's certainly a good movie. It's a solid entry in the series. There was a limit to even what I will do. We have a hard day's ride ahead of us. And they're off to destroy Dracula. The cloves. Wait, how'd they get? Well, Clove must have taken the crucifixes out of the coffins because they're back in the coffins. He's taking the carriage back to the castle, I imagine. But Father Sandor is chasing him down with Charles. They got that. There's always kind of that score whenever there's like an action scene is like love it. Get down from there, heathen. Oh, he took Clove out. The shotgun. Oh, there goes the carriage by itself. Don't matter. It's still gonna go exactly where they want it to be. It's controlled by Dracula's influence. Well, lost one of them. Right out into the ice. Like, where'd this ice come from? Suppose it's winter time. Here you have it. Dracula on ice. Oh, it kills me. And here we get to my least favorite final act of the series. And remember, the father mentioned one of the things that can kill Dracula: running water. Running water, people. So there's a big sheet of ice around the castle here. two, two tickets to Dracula on ice, please. Hello. I'd buy that for $1. Running water. Christopher Lee's trying to put up the best fight he can, and then the priest grabs a shotgun. He's shooting some cracks in the ice around him. Oh no! Oh no! And of course, it's forming like a perfect circle around them. Oh! Ah, the ice is coming up. Ah, big. He's like tripping. Oh! Ah! Ice is coming up. He's sliding down it. Oh! Dun, dun. That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it took. Let me see him. Oh, see his body under the ice. And that's it. There you have it, folks. That is the end of Dracula, Prince of Darkness. One of the most disappointing endings in horror history for me personally. I'm like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Ice falls under the ice and that's it. Ah, ah. At any rate, it's still a solid film to the franchise. Still a solid entry. Distributed by 20th Century Fox. That's right. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for everyone that joined me in the chat today. TYTD Reviews, Strange Monkey Reviews, Movie Massacre. Thank you all for joining me today in the Horror Corner. And this has been a special live commentary on Dracula, Prince of Darkness from 1966, directed by Terence Fisher, starring the great Christopher Lee, Andrew Keir, and the late, great Barbara Shelley. Thank you, folks, and have a great day. And remember, hammer horror always and forever. Good evening, folks. Good evening.